Rose Bay, Sydney, has become one of the major terminals in the chain of South Pacific air services. Once, people travelled from their homelands only because they had to. For tourists with sufficient leisure and money was the one exception. But today, in this shrinking world, travel is so simple a matter that everyone is on the move. A farmer can go to New Zealand for a month to study agriculture. In a month, a tourist with time on her hands can visit the whole South Pacific. A businessman can be in the South Seas in a few days. The aircraft flies along the coast to the city of Wellington. The signpost suggests to a child the half-known names of lands beyond the ocean. The aircraft swings in over Wellington, capital of New Zealand, to land at Evans Bay. To the young children of the Pacific, the 40 tons of massive aircraft that fills their narrow horizons is still a thing of wonder. Enthralling to the child in New Zealand, how much more so to a child in the distant islands of Samoa. From the wealth of the Waikato farmlands to the boiling mud of Rotorua, New Zealand's weird centre of thermal activity. But the most spectacular display at Rotorua is given by the roaring geysers that surge from the earth out of the secret caverns of fury. No, this is not a geyser. Yet these massive clouds of steam come from the same subterranean source. They are geothermal bores, enormous outlets of steam power, controlled by the scientists to provide power and a supply of the heavy water needed for the development of atomic energy. A Maori workman operates the release valves. Throughout New Zealand, modern Maoris fill responsible technical and professional positions. Of all the Polynesians, New Zealand's Maoris have come furthest in adapting themselves to the white man's civilization. But here in the Cook Islands, at the little atoll of Aitutaki, 3,000 miles to the north of New Zealand, the Polynesians are only now becoming acquainted with the great machines of the white man and the shadow of his civilization that is spreading across the remotest parts of the great Pacific Ocean. The passengers come ashore to wait on this lovely low-lying atoll before they continue their ocean hop to Tahiti. From wherever they've come, the memory will remain with them of this brief interlude in remote Aitutaki.
Husband Mike Mike. This is Papa at launch calling.
Husband Mike calling Papa at launch. Come in, please.
This is Papa at launch. Surface wind 090. 15 to 20 kilometers. The channel has been swept, and there is no debris. You may land in the packet harbour from the wharves to the hotel trophy.
Every fortnight, the aircraft from New Zealand arrives in Tahiti, and every fortnight, the people of Tahiti wait on the waterfront to welcome the visitors. For all, and before everything else, the sweet lays of frangipani, the kiss of greeting, and iorana, the word of welcome.
As soon as you arrive, the beauty of Tahiti is upon you.
Tahiti is set at one end of the chain of South Pacific islands. At the other end are Australia and the two islands of New Zealand. From them flows forth the skill and knowledge that the scattered peoples of the Pacific need. On a plane out of Auckland, New Zealand, a soldier returns from a training course to his homeland, Fiji. Peter Taylor, a sugar planter, returns from furlough in Australia. His homeland is in sight. Many of both races rely on trading in the markets for their livelihood. If an Indian can save enough money, he will buy a store, run it well, and prosper. The Indians of Fiji are polite, capable, and industrious, and they bring a taste of Asia to the South Pacific. Ahead lies the last stretch of open sea before Edward Thompson will be home again in Samoa, after buying his pedigree stock in New Zealand. The launch approaches to carry to the shore at Satapuala passengers for Apia and Western Samoa. Wally Bignell, the construction engineer. Maud Abercrombie arrives to be matron of the Apia Hospital. The Australian businessman reaches another island where he hopes he'll do business. To Samoa come members of the United Nations mission, who are investigating the trust territory of Western Samoa. Edward Thompson is home.
We have known many political changes in Western Samoa. The United Nations mission that comes off the plane will hear the often told stories of our people's desire to govern themselves. The elder chiefs gather at Satapuala to welcome the United Nations representatives. All will drink from the bowl of kava specially prepared for the meeting.
The plane that's approaching Tahiti brings people from all points of the globe. In the lands they've come from, it is winter, or spring, or autumn. But it is always summer in Tahiti. Lie on the warm sands and listen to the murmur of the surf way out on the reef. Tahiti used to be so isolated that its mail came only 6 times a year. Now, post a parcel in Paris, and in 2 weeks the parcel will be delivered to a little village in Tahiti. fortnightly plane will be leaving. This is the link that chains Tahiti to the busy world. If you cast your lay upon the water as you say farewell, someday you will return. Hauled from dark hangars by tractor and trolley, leviathans lumber on land to the water. And high above cloud, they will race from concrete to coral or coral to mountain. Over land planes will ferry a farmer from cities. Old worlds have made way for the white man's wonders, and in colder countries their giants glide. 40 tons of cruiser of the clouds can carry you high above sea to sugarcane or snow, to the sands of Tahiti, to the drums, to the dancing, to palm-fringed atolls under the scented wind. Beachcomber, businessman, tourist, nurse, cattleman, politician, cups of tea, ticker tape, cockpit and screwdriver, the link holds. The link holds at Papeete, at Apia, Auckland, Sydney, Suva. Over uncounted acres of ocean and of air, the blades that beat the bright wind bridge the South Seas.